So, welcome to the Paradise Group 21st annual meeting. It's becoming of a bit of a joke now with the annual, but yeah, we've come a good way, and soon enough, it's been over a year since we've started this future server. And it's been over a year now since we started the Paradise Group, so I'm glad to have you here. The attendance has grown a lot. The server has hit 500 members, and that's a big, benchmark for me. Soon at 1,000 and soon at the discovery page, so we'll push through and we're gonna make this a great community. Now, to get over to the index, in today's video, we're gonna have a feature of a new member, potentially a promotion. We're gonna have basically a coverage of the vlogs, question of the day, which is a new topic we're gonna bring up, a remake, a booking, and some more interesting things that we will bring up during today's meeting, basically. I'm gonna turn down the chat now, so I don't have to get too many DMs there. So to get over to the third thing here, basically, and that is question of the day. That's quite an important thing, because we've seen that most people tune into the meetings, but there aren't as many conversations started in the group chats or in the chats in general. And I reckon that's pretty logical because I want you guys to succeed, so the priority is of course to be working. But for the people who aren't really working and maybe want to start networking instead, it could be good to have some questions or something that could start a convo basically in the Discord for you guys to get to know each other. Because I know a lot of people in this meeting today want to move together to Koh Samui, wants to get on a traveling trip, wants to really expand. But it might be a bit cringe if you go to the Tokyo trip or if you want to come and move into basically with the guys and then you don't even know who you're going to move in with. So I would recommend you guys to start to talk to each other and try to get a better understanding of who you're actually going to be living in, basically with, but also have in your house in the future here. So that's one important thing I would like you guys to try to get into. And some interesting questions we could probably bring up during this week's questions. I reckon we should have a poll today if this is something you guys want added. I reckon we should have one question that's gonna get started after this meeting as well, so we can spark a discussion while this meeting is ongoing. I reckon could be pretty cool. So if you guys have any suggestions, please feel free to raise your hand and I could add you into the basically. Whoa, Harold, I see what you're writing in the chat there. Delete that, bro.
Oh,
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so if you have any questions you want to ask or anything you want us to discuss, basically with the question of the day, feel free to raise your hand right now and I can add you into the top thing here. W Harold. That's here. So raise your hand if you have any suggestions for anything. I see that Wall Street. Let's see, what is this? Wall Street Chad. How do I pick the person who has his hand raised up? Let's see. Harold, I think you know more than me about this.
I'm not a stage moderator,
Okay. Yeah, you want to
so
speak,
I
right? So I'm
can't.
just gonna go do this. Invite to speak. Let's see here.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. What's something you wanted? Oh, he's muted as well. Okay, that's a big one. Chad, what do you want to discuss?
We should have more active people because we only have from only two people talking every day.
Yeah, in the group chat it's pretty, it's pretty mid there. But when we have the, what's it called, the meetings, we're pretty big. So, did you have any
Yeah.
suggestion of something you want to speak about during the meetings, or as the question of the day, or was it just that you wanted to bring up the
No.
two people?
We need always need to network because if we don't network, everyone's just working and then we're gonna see each other in Koh Samui. We're not gonna even know who we are.
Exactly, I agree with you. So, anyone else who has any questions they want to ask or anything they want for the discussion of the day? I see that Jaw has raised his hand as well, so let's bring him up on the stage. Jaw, just accept that request.
Okay, hi everybody. So I have actually two questions. The first one would be, what's the best valuable skill that you can learn?
For sure. So, in this meeting, we're not going to cover any of the answers to the questions, and I don't think it is the answer to that question. But we're going to bring up if you want something
Right.
to be discussed in the chat with the fellow members, basically.
We can discuss about uh what's like the best businesses to start.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. We could write that as a suggestion, and we can maybe bring it up. See here. Keenan, do you maybe have a suggestion? If you have any, just feel free to raise your hand. I know you have some pretty big ideas we've talked about before. If anyone has any other big questions or anything they want to be brought up, Arcel, I don't think I've spoken to him either. Let's see. Marcel, you have been invited up to the stage, so feel free to click it then. There we go.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good, how are
I
you?
just arrived. I just want to ask a question. I mean, I've been working right now, but I was invited to the meeting, so I was wondering what kind of business are we talking about here?
This is not a business server. It's a server focused on traveling. So I think you might not be too informed because it's a it's a new server basically for you. I reckon at least.
Okay, then let me reformulate us. What are we speaking here in the server?
Okay. So one thing you could do to understand that is go into the what is this channel we have in the server. It's under announcements, and there you can get all the help you'll need. Perfect. Issa, let's see.
I'll just put it in the chat for you guys if anyone wants to know that.
Yeah, I see some new guys, so I reckon that's a valid one. Issa, anything you want us to be bringing up or during the day's basically question? Issa, hello? Do you have perms to speak?
Yeah, he does.
Give him a few more seconds, or should we take somebody else in the meantime? What do you think?
We can maybe move on, and then we can always get more questions and stuff at the end.
Yeah, for sure. Keenan, do you have any question you want to bring up? I reckon you have some good inputs. Free to raise the hand. Jack or anyone, feel free. Or else we're gonna take the question that Jaw had. Question of today. So I've got some of them in my DMs here. Okay, yeah. I've gotten some suggestions in my DMs, and we're gonna write basically all in the chat afterwards, and we're gonna vote for the one who is the most popular, but also the most people like. So the next segment
Did
we're gonna
you,
bring up today is your segment, Harry.
Yeah.
So we would like to introduce a new member, and his name is Harry. Harry, go for
Hello,
it.
everyone. Obviously, my name's Harry. I'm 17. I'm from East Sussex, near Brighton. Currently, my occupation, I am technically unemployed, but I am currently running my own digital goods business. And I'm also an ex-semi-professional footballer. I used to play for Lewis FC, if any of you know them.
What's it, Lewis FC?
Lewis FC, yeah, guys.
Yeah, I've not heard of it before. Is it some type of English
Yeah,
football club?
it's not the biggest of clubs, but it was all right. It did its deeds.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience.
Perfect.
Yeah, if you'd like go to the next club. Right, so my story. I wasn't always the person I am now. A lot of people go through ups and downs. A lot of people go through a lot of struggles before they actually become good people. Some people get over things, some people don't. For me personally, I managed to learn from everything that's happened in my past to be the person I am today. So I'll give you a little run through of my life a little bit so you guys kind of understand how I've dealt with things and also how you can do it as well. So I've got a couple of bullet points here and I'm going to expand off of those. So from a very young age in school, primary school or kindergarten, whatever your word is, from about the age of maybe 7 or 8, all the way up, I was bullied very heavily, and it affected my mental health quite a lot. I was beaten up at school every day. I always let myself down. I never defended myself. I just wanted to crawl up in a ball and just never speak to anyone. I just felt like I was a failure and I shouldn't have been on this earth. Then after that, obviously, I went into secondary school, into high school, and the same thing happened. I was bullied. I used to get beaten up on the bus. I didn't even want to go to school. I would never leave my house. I wanted to just stay at home and stay away from society. It just just didn't help at all. Then obviously COVID happened, and I think we can all say for now that COVID did not help anyone in terms of mental health, business, anything at all. It killed off quite a lot of things. Then after COVID, I actually moved house, which was a massive fresh start for me because I felt like, do you know what? I can actually have a fresh start. No one knows anything about me. I can make some new friends, etc. So I moved down to East Sussex. Obviously, I was living in South London, in Croydon. Then I moved down to Sussex, near Brighton, and I started a new school. On my first day of that school, I had a knife pulled out of me. I was like, oh no, it's going to happen all over again. Because all people want now these days, it's all society, it's all social media influenced, and people see other people and they want to be like them. But that's not how you should be living your life. You should be living your life wanting to be your own person, not following others and making these type of mistakes. So again, I was beaten up, and then within about 2 weeks of going to that school, I was like, do you know what? I'm not going to take it anymore. So I stood up for myself, and instead of being the victim, I started to become the bully, because it came to the point of defending myself and then crossing the line and beating up other people way too far. I ended up getting kicked out of school. I got permanently excluded, and I kind of finally understood. I was like, right, there's actually a line. There's a difference between standing up for yourself and being the bully, which I soon obviously understood. I then got told to go to other schools or naughty kids schools. They wouldn't take me because of the seriousness of some of the reasons why I was kicked out in the first place, which I won't go into detail about. So I was then homeschooled, and during those homeschool, I felt a lot more with myself. So I was able to pick myself back up. I was able to understand my own mental well-being, understand my own capabilities. So I started up my own business. My first business was when I was 13 years old, and I started up a car washing company. I then did some work experience with some valeting companies who were top high-end companies that used to wash Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Porsches, Marathis, sorry, what's the word? Maserati, and a couple of other different, obviously, high-end vehicles. I then done that, I think, for about 6 to 7 months, and in that 6 to 7 months, I made 3.5 grand as a 13-year-old. So it was like my first, do you know what? This is what I want to do. I want to start my own business, or I want to work for myself. I don't want to work for other people. Why work for other people when you can work for yourself or work as a group together instead of for someone? So I done that, and then came winter. And that's when I learned that businesses are seasonal. So you have to find something that's available all year round, because no one wants their car washing during the winter. No one does. They're barely going to use it. It's always going to be cold. It's always going to be dirty, isn't it? So I started up another business. I started up a little clothing company. I bought some clothing printers, some different bits and bobs to try and make my own clothing. And it didn't kick off at all. I probably got about £100 worth of orders in 3 months, and it just completely failed. And again, that was where I learned that negativity is a part of business, or flopping is a part of business. You've got to accept what happens and kind of build yourself back up, or start from fresh. And that's just how it is with business. After that flop, I had a lot of denial. I didn't really understand it very much. And I was like, why is this happening? Why does no one want to buy from me? And then again, my mental health kicked in. I was struggling really bad. I was struggling to socialize with other people. And that's when I was diagnosed with autism and ADHD. Now, at first, especially going back to when I was in school, I struggled with the autism and ADHD quite a lot, but I didn't know I had it. As soon as I was diagnosed with it, I finally understood myself a little bit better, and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to try and look at not only myself, but I'm going to look into how other people deal with it, different types of it, and how it's looked upon. And it's very unfortunate, but people with diagnosed mental health conditions, such as AD and ADHD, actually are very unlikely to get a job. I think it was something like 75% less of a chance to get a job. And I did find that out when I was trying to get part-time or full-time jobs, retail places, different shops, restaurants, and I'd mention it. And as soon as I mentioned it, they cut off the interview because they didn't want to know anything. They didn't want to deal with it. Even though, but someone with that doesn't mean you're necessarily any different. It just means you think in a different way. I had a lot of troubles after with my ADHD and autism, and then I had a lot of relationship struggles. I then got into a wrong group of friends, which then it put me in a very difficult position because they used to do drugs, they used to smoke, they used to do all these different bits and bobs, which were obviously not good for my health, my mental health, etc. And then I had a incident. If you want to quickly go on to the next page, Gustav. So I had an incident. If you see that bottom left picture, bottom right picture, sorry, of me lying down in hospital, that was because I had if you look in the middle, that is my old group of friends that I got with. They used to be my life and day. They got me out socializing. I felt like part of a family again. I felt cared about. I felt loved. And then I got stabbed in the back. I got spiked. I got beaten up, and I got put in hospital with a broken arm. I had a very heavy brain trauma. It was a concussion, and from that point on, again, I struggled a lot. And it was horrible. I mean, obviously, if you look as well, there's a couple of other pictures there. There's one of my car washing company, which I had, which is a couple of years ago. Then there's that was, if you top left, that was me when I got into the bad side of things when I started school again, and I broke my hand from standing up for myself. And then the bottom left was the broken hand. That was obviously from when I got stabbed in the back by my friends, and they kind of turned on me. I'm going to go back to the last page again, Gustav. The one before it.
Yeah, sure, this one.
Yeah. And then as soon as all that happened, a lot of the police and encounters and things like that all started to go. So I got arrested. Obviously, you probably saw in that last picture as well. There was a little moped. I got arrested from driving a moped without a license or any insurance or a tax or anything like that. But I never had a bad intention. Again, this comes in with the autism. It was when you're trying to do something for a good reason, you don't think about any negativity. You only think about the good side of things. So I bought it. I used to drive it to this part-time job I finally got. And I was like, do you know what? I can actually make some money and not have to worry about it being seasonal. And I was driving it to and from, and I was doing it for about 3 months. And then I got apprehended by the police, and I was arrested, and I got sent to court. I won't go into any more detail about that situation, but obviously I did have a couple of more different encounters with the police, with in and out. Most of them, honestly, weren't my fault. It was just wrong place, wrong time type of thing. And again, my mental health rapidly declined. And it was like that for many, many months. And then 2 years ago, I found my ex-girlfriend. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I felt it was like the love of my life, you know? It's like when you have that one figure in your life that you can't get away from. It's just that safe haven. If anything goes wrong, you can speak to them about anything, and you feel so comfortable. And that went really well. And then obviously we broke up, and again, it was a rapid decline again. It was all this stuff. It just felt like it was the end of the world, and obviously you couldn't really do much. And then if we go back onto the next page now. Oh, one before. And then I found interests. I found things that I wanted to do which didn't involve me doing all these things which I was doing before. So I started to travel. So there's a picture of me on, well, looking out a window of a plane. And then I joined the Royal Air Force Air Cadets. So there's a picture of me there, flying a plane actually by myself because I managed to do a PPL course where I was getting my private pilot's license. Just below it, there's me in a parade. There's me, and I got nominated for one of the, I think it was Best Cadet Award of the Year throughout the whole region, which was London, South and Central, which was really good. And I started to kind of gather that you have to look back from your past history and you have to build upon it, because without any of the mistakes in the past, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I think, if anything, it's good to make mistakes. I don't think you would be a good person if you didn't make mistakes, because it's normal. It's completely normal. It's nothing to be upset about or nothing to be bothered about. It's a good thing to make mistakes because it helps you learn and understand from them. I'm going to go on to the next page now, Gustav. So yeah, like I was saying about the mental health, I've learned to understand my own and other people's mindset. I've gone from being a very locked away, closed away person, from being bullied, to now being able to help people and being able to be a confident person when it comes to business or even just normal everyday socializing. I set goals for myself. So this year I've got a goal of being able to buy my first car. I've got a goal of being able to make a certain amount of money by the end of the year. Not to necessarily brag about, but just to be financially stable. I've learned from my mistakes. So everything you've heard in the past, where I said about getting arrested, kicked out of school, the addictions, things like that, I've learned from them, and now I've understood why it happened or how it happened, and understand how I can avoid that in the future. Understanding the realism of life. So before my first ex, I was with someone else, and then after her, obviously it was my most recent ex. We was together for over a year, and we broke up about a year ago. When we broke up, I kind of realized, I was like, do you know what? There's no point with being with someone if you generally don't care about them. Because I know a lot of people do now these days is they see someone, hey, you're good looking, I want to be with you. No, that's not how it is, guys. It's a feeling. Love is a feeling, and that's why I haven't been with anyone since. It's because it's a focus in it. It's you focus on yourself, and if someone comes along, that's how it is, bro. Be a better me. Now, obviously, like I was saying, you learn from your mistakes, you set goals. I've understood other people and myself, because understanding other people helps you be a better person in general. Because if you don't understand other people, you're just going to be focused straight on what you want and what no one else wants. Other people, you want to be able to help other people. You want to be able to understand other people. You need empathy, and you also need sympathy. And that is a part of being a good businessman as well as a good person. As you can see, there's a little picture of TCC and me and Gustav. Beginning of this year, I met Gustav, and he was the absolutely goat. Like, mate, he was the nicest guy I've ever met, and he was really welcoming into the closest collectives. I remember joining a meeting midway through, literally as I got recruited, and he was straight away, Harold, how are you, man? Like, tell me about yourself. Literally mid-meeting, like, no hesitation. And he was really welcoming to the group. He got me all set up, got me into trading, was really helpful. I was attending every single meeting. And then one day we were striking up a little discussion about what other things can we do to make money. And that's when obviously we thought of TCC foreclosures, and obviously I'm happy to say that obviously I was a part of the building up from that, which was one of the best like weeks ever when we was all building that up. It was fucking amazing. Honestly, it was great. And now if you look below, there's a little picture of a little bit of money on the bed. That is from this year of just smashing out business, and literally, I think I made that in about 2 days, which I couldn't ask better for. But obviously, I'll let you get back to Gustav in a second. But also, I just want to say, guys, focus on yourself. It's the best thing you need to do is put yourself in the best mindset possible. Understand other people. Understand yourself. Set goals. Learn from your mistakes. Yeah,
Hello, hello.
yeah. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes along the way. There's nothing wrong with having regrets. All you've got to do is reflect off of those and be a better person. But thank you for listening, guys, and I'll pass it back to Gustav.
Harry, amazing story, man. I know so many people will relate to you, and the journey you've had, it's one that not many can say. It's really impressive, and I'm super proud of how far you basically come. From this to this, you know. Now you're on the path
Yeah,
to
man.
become extremely successful, man. It's only up for you now, I promise you that. And now you probably see, you guys, how important it is to surround yourself with the right people. When Harry started switching it around, when Harry started being, either alone or hanging out with people who were actually good for him, everything started going upwards, and he really found himself, as you can see here. The army started getting discipline. Here was hanging out with, not quality people. But he's always been a hustler, as you can see in his future. He's been working as a car, the car cleaning. How old were you again? 13 years old?
I was 13 when I done that.
And you were making how much? $3,000?
I made £3,500 in 6 months
Exactly.
as a 13-year-old.
You can't say too many people who've done that in like basically his age. So he's a very impressive guy. And some people might not understand why it is important to listen to these stories, but you learn a lot from listening to other people's life stories, and it might not seem as the most useful thing right now, but I promise you, everybody can learn something from Harold's story. I've learned a lot. Harry, yeah, great segment, love it.
Thank you, man.
And this is also one of Harry's ideas. He was a starting founder of our closest collective foreclosure business, which is one of the businesses I'm running right now. He's still a part of it. And he also came up with this. You want to describe it real quickly here, Harold, or do you want me to
Yeah, of course.
maybe go
So,
back and forth?
for those of you that are coming to Koh Samui, Tokyo, all those good stuff, one of the things we were thinking of is if you was able to bring a GoPro or a camera of any type and just document your day, document your whole experience of coming from your home to being with Closest Collectives and the Future Paradise group to actually coming with us to experience it. So from the time you wake up in the morning, eating your breakfast, traveling to the airport, getting on the plane, to meeting up with the guys and doing all the different experiences we're doing. I think there's one which is the Mario Kart. We're going into some networking groups. There's a couple of different things we're doing, and I think it would just be a great thing, especially doing it like a Netflix documentary style of way, which is something which Gustav was also will tell you a little bit about.
Yeah, for sure. No, that was a genius idea. When I heard it, I never thought of it myself. Harry said, I'm gonna buy a camera or a GoPro or something so I can record my POV of the entire Tokyo trip. And I was like, wow, if I can get everybody's POVs basically of the trip, and then I can put all that into the documentary, we can get a like very big like overall perspective of how everything will work. And everybody will be able to see how Harry's day basically looked, and how maybe Keenan's day looked, or how Smoothie's day looked, or how anybody's day looked. We will get a much bigger impact, but also a bigger understanding of how the actual TPG lifestyle, but also traveling actually looks in a better sense, I reckon. Uh, Harry, so
Yeah,
you're gonna come to Tokyo? That's a good
I
question.
am coming to Tokyo.
So he's probably gonna steal one of you guys' spots. So be careful with this guy, because he's a driven and he's not stopping for anybody. But one thing that you see with Harry's story is that many people are where Harry was before, but they stay there for life, a lot of people. The most important thing is that if you are in a situation like that, that you have to get out of it. Don't stay there forever, because that's when everything can go really bad for you. If you are in a situation that is really bad, the only thing you can try to go for is you'll try to get out of it. That's the biggest thing. And then once you
First thing you
actually
can do is
succeed,
ask for help.
you can look back at it.
Yeah.
Did you have something you want to add?
Yeah, no, I think the best thing you could do is ask for help, and that is a really important, vital part of life is asking other people for help. Don't feel like you're on your own. And remember, you have family, your parents, you have siblings. Ask them. Although you might get a little bit of a, oh, you fucked up big time. It doesn't matter. They're gonna understand you fucked up, and after that, they'll help you because regardless of what you've done wrong, you're still family. You're stuck together.
Exactly. And if you don't have anyone to go to, usually, you could always find people who are like-minded online, and you could always find yourself when you're, for example, I always recommend if you're mad or anything, always go out on a run. That's usually what I do. That always helps a lot. But to get back to topic, we're gonna discuss about this. I had a guy in the server, he was roasting how bad it looked, he was saying it didn't look too good, and I've had that before as well. I don't know, I like it decently. Some people wanted to make basically a makeover of the server, and this is how it looks right now. You can check in the server. Some people want a remake of it. Some people want more makeover. And the pros of doing a makeover is that it will look cleaner, maybe a bit more professional, and it could be more safe probably. And the cons of it is more verification steps, which I am not the biggest fan of, and then less personality, and then also harder to join the server. So if you could write your input in the chat, what do you think? Do you want to keep around the old server or make a new one? Or we're gonna still keep the server, we're gonna make a remake of the entire thing. New one. Okay, and if I'm gonna make a new one, it's gonna still be the same server, but we're gonna make simply put, a remake or a makeover of this one. So I can add more safety features, a onboarding process, and just make it clean up a bit. Have it, I like it. Yeah, we have a server for prospects right now. It's called Dev Paradise Group, and it's the oldest server we have. And then this server is for everybody. So I reckon that I'm gonna write a poll in the announcement. I'm gonna do it live actually. Make over question mark. Be no key. Okay, start voting in the announcements, and I'll pick the one in like 5 minutes, which is the most picked one, and we're gonna remake it if that. Yes, remake it is looking pretty hard right now. Oh, 2 more people for B. Pretty tight. I'll let you guys keep on voting there, and we're gonna get over to the next part here. It doesn't become a too long of a meeting. Now this is very important. This is super important for you guys. It's about the booking. And all of you prospects who are in this meeting today, I see it's Keenan, I saw Smoothy before, I see Valle, I see Jack, I see Issa, who's probably gonna become a prospect pretty soon here. I see Akhnam. Here is probably a better word. I see a lot of you guys, and also Harold, of course, who are gonna come on the Tokyo trip. Now this is extremely important for you guys, so I recommend you listening to this closely. About the booking. So spots will drop in segments and also sections. I had a lot of complaints before that I shouldn't just drop all the spots at the same time, because then let's say I drop it in April or February or in January maybe or something like that, then only a certain amount of people will be able to make it. Maybe some people aren't on their phone that day, or some people aren't online that day, or some people don't have the money right now, or might not have it in that month because they might do an investment or something, and they want to make it up a little bit later. I will start dropping spots for the Tokyo trip in sections. So I'm gonna drop like 2 spots then, 2 spots then, 2 spots then, just to make everybody have a chance of being able to make it. So let's say you don't have the money right now, I'm probably gonna drop a spot in around July or in August or something like that, so you have more time to try to make it yourself. I saw a lot of you guys who haven't really gotten your business successful yet, and I reckon that could be pretty kind to you. What do you think? Yeah, give everybody a chance. I like that. Ryan, I reckon that this is something you would want as an addition, so we drop the spots in sections. We have some later ones and some earlier ones as well. Yeah. Yeah, I reckon the same, Harold. Only more quality people. We're probably gonna up it from 15 because we have so many people who wants to join, Hassan. Age requirement. It's still the same as before. So February, its booking is gonna start now. I have one spot already reserved from my guy who messaged me before the meeting even started. And that is 2 spots dropping now in February, and it's basically first come, first served. DM to get access to this spot. February booking will be 25th. So everybody who wants to book now in February, they have to book it on the 25th with us. Then is when all of us are gonna book. One spot of these are already claimed. And then we're gonna have a 2 spot dropping on April. And that will also be first come, first served, of course, as usual. And booking of the 15th of April. We have one person who's already 100% certain they will book in April, and then I have another guy who's like 90% certain. So try to get there early, I reckon. Harold, when do you plan to book?
Hopefully in the next month or two.
Okay, for sure. You're gonna fly from
Technically,
Heathrow?
Heathrow or Gatwick, yeah. But I mean, hopefully, I mean, to be fair, if I wanted to, I could book a ticket right now.
Yeah, yes, you
I
can.
mean, I generally could. Like, I'll share my screen and book it right now. Like,
Book it live for everybody in the server, stealing their spot.
mate, I'll do it. I'll do it.
For sure, for real.
Yeah, man, I'll do it right now.
So one spot is already gone now in February. Harry took it live, so I might have to edit it after the video. I have to see. And then April, 2 spots are dropping in as well. You know, if we have more mad lads like him, it's probably gonna run out pretty quick here. Oh wow, it's growing now. But you're gonna have a lot of guys watching when you book live, my friend.
Oh no.
Holy. Okay. Well, you have to deal with it. And then I reckon you should prepare for it. So if you don't have enough right now, you know what the deadlines are, and you have a goal to go after. So go claim those spots while you're at it. You have 2 spots dropping now in February, you have 2 spots dropping in April, you have 2 to 3 spots dropping now in May, and then you have 3 to 4 more spots dropping in March, which is even earlier. So a lot of these are dropping pretty quick here, and I don't think we should go over 20, at least from now. Yeah, Jack, if you live in America, or anybody here in America, I agree with what Jack said. If you have some like credit card or anything with benefits for booking flight tickets, that would be very smart. And this is a very important thing for you. Once the spots are gone, they are gone forever. We're not gonna drop more spots, we're just dropping at one time. This is not a thing that will come back. The Tokyo trip will only be one time. And if the spots are gone, they are gone. We're not gonna make exceptions for anybody. That's how it works. And you have to really think, so what will you do, you know? Take the opportunity or let it die, you know? Will you really try to make it? Will you just think about it or, you know, act like Harry is doing right now, booking live in the meeting? It's very easy to speak about booking a Tokyo trip, but not everybody can be like Harry and literally just book it live in front of a meeting because he felt like it. And we'll have to see if he actually does it after this, but I'm 90% sure he will. So take the risk or lose the chance. That's how it basically works. You have to take some risks, and they can come with great rewards, but it can also come with some, you know, bad things happening to you. Most likely, this is a good risk, but I don't know, your plane maybe crashes or something, so we'll have to see. Don't book any cheap airlines or some weird airline. I heard Mango was a very bad one. Michael's friend has booked with Mango, and his plane crashed down while he was on it, so I will be careful with that one. He's not dead though, so you don't have to worry about that. So I recommend you to take the risks and don't lose the chance. And don't ask for security, ask for adventure. That's a very important thing. You know, everybody says everything is so risky, and everything is risky, you know. The minute you got born, it all got risky. You know, having children is risky, getting married is risky, you know, going after a new job is risky, starting up that business is risky, going into that investment is risky, investing in that crypto is risky, everything is risky. but it's all about if you think it's gonna be worth it. And you can't just go around living life so secure, because then you could just huddle in a corner, will bring you 3 meals a day, and you'll live there for 40 years and you eventually die. And you might say, yeah, I want safety and security. I want to live a safe and secure life. Well, just go huddle in a corner and we'll, see you after 100 years. And yeah, you live a life of security, but you don't have adventure. So don't ask for security, ask for the adventure. You have to actually live your life a little bit. I know a lot of people who just wants to make as much money as they can and they just save it, but you never really know how long you'll live. My mentor, one of the people I really look up to, his name is Greg Plitt. He always spoke about how great he wanted to become, and he really lived every day as his last. And eventually it was his last. He died at 37 years of age, and he really didn't, achieve everything he could have done. So take the risks, be like Harry, and book the flight tickets. That's all I can say. Thanks as always, and